Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. We're going to start off this wraparound in Blacksburg, Virginia, as Virginia Tech hosts North Carolina, and the Tar Heels coming to this ball game at 9-1 and looking to crash the playoff party. Virginia Tech, winners of 2 straight, are playing a lot better thanks to much better play on the defensive side of the football. Although they are playing inspired ball for head coach Frank Beamer, who will be retiring at the end of the season, I still like North Carolina to win this ball game. It'll be close throughout, but I do think the balance of the Tar Heels' offensive attack will ultimately wear down the Hokies. Moving over to the Big Ten, as Michigan travels to Happy Valley to take on Penn State, and I would expect a defensive slugfest in this matchup. And the best matchup, I think, will be between the Wolverines' offensive line versus Penn State's defensive front. I like Michigan in this ballgame. The offense of the Wolverines this season, especially on the ground, hasn't disappointed, and they'll be the reason why they knock off Penn State. Big game in the AAC between Memphis and Temple, and the Owls defense laid an egg last week versus South Florida, and better hope that it was an aberration as the Tigers, led by Paxton Lynch, rolls into Philly this week. Defensively, I think they'll be fine, but can their offense have success versus a very fast and athletic Tigers defense? Tough to say, but I do think Temple wins by shrinking the ball game with running back Jahad Thomas and being able to get off the field on third downs. I like the Owls. UCLA travels to Salt Lake City to take on the Utes of Utah, and this is a huge game in the Pac-12 South as both teams fight for the top spot in the division. And this is your classic good offense versus good defense battle, as the Bruins are led by a sensational true freshman quarterback Josh Rosen, and they can definitely put up points in bunches. But the Utes are very aggressive within their front seven and do a great job in creating turnovers. Look for the Utes to stop Paul Perkins, making the Bruins one-dimensional and putting the brakes on that Bruins offense. I like Utah. Spotlight game in the Big Ten as Ohio State and Michigan State face off, and all eyes will be on every quarterback in this ball game, but the true focus should be on the line of scrimmage. Who can stop the run? Who can keep their quarterback clean will be the biggest task for both teams in this ball game. And I like both defenses in this matchup, and the one X factor that you can't account for is the mobile quarterback. And I think JT Barrett, his running, will be the difference in a low-scoring physical game. I like the Buckeyes. Now we start the Big 12 Invitational as Baylor plays Oklahoma State and TCU plays Oklahoma. And starting with Baylor-Oklahoma State, the Bears are looking to bounce back after a devastating loss to the Sooners last weekend. If they're going to knock off Oklahoma State, their ground game has to be a consistent force and threat for 4 quarters. The Cowboys showed some mental toughness last week in dealing with Iowa State, and they also had to claw their way back to win that ball game. I do think Baylor pulls off the upset in this one. The Cyclones, in my opinion, gave Baylor the blueprint, so expect a heavy dose of Shock Linwood in the backfield running the football. The other battle in the Big 12, TCU at Oklahoma, and the health of quarterback Trayvon Boykin and also wide receiver Josh Doxson is critical in this ball game. Both are legit game breakers and game changers for the Horned Frogs. These two shouldn't overshadow the fact that TCU's biggest key in this game will be ultimately their defense's ability to stopping the two-headed rushing monster of Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon of Oklahoma. Yes, quarterback Baker Mayfield has played some phenomenal football so far this season, but the Sooners' run game is what truly makes this offense go. I like Oklahoma in this ball game with the questionable Boykin and Doxson entering this matchup. Even if they play, it's tough to say that they'll be at full tilt. Gotta roll with the Sooners in this situation. Pivotal battle in the Mountain West Conference, the Mountain Division to be exact, as Air Force takes on Boise State, and stopping the option attack of the Falcons is mission number 1, 2, and 3 for the Broncos. And we know last week they struggled in a loss versus New Mexico. Now a different type of option attack, but the same principles and message applies. Do your job is the message for Boise State this week. Now for Air Force, it's been about how good defensively they've played this season. They're fundamentally sound on that side of the football, and I think that, along with a big player or two in the passing game from their talented wide receiver Jalen Robinette, will be enough for Air Force to win in a close one. Staying in the Mountain West Conference, Colorado State takes on New Mexico, and the Lobos will definitely be keeping an eye on that Air Force Boise game, as a Falcon victory could put them in a matchup versus Air Force for that number 1 spot in the Mountain Division. Colorado State is hoping they're also looking ahead as they'll be in prime position to pull off the upset. The Rams have won 2 straight games, 3 out of the last 4, and are 1 win away from bowl eligibility. Now, New Mexico has reached that landmark so far this season, and what a great job coaching Bob Davie has done this season. I like New Mexico's ability to control the pace of the game with their running game, but the Lobos defense puts together an encore performance. In this one, I like them to knock off Colorado State. And finally, another huge game in the Pac-12 as Oregon and USC kick off, and both squads seem to have found their stride as both enter with 4-game winning streaks and chances to stand atop their respective divisions. Both teams also have gotten back in the Pac-12 race by getting back to basics, not turning the football over and playing good defense. However, the latter hasn't been quote-unquote earth-shattering, and I think it'll be why you're going to see a high-scoring back-and-forth type of affair. I still think overall USC is the better football team and will knock off the Ducks.